Hey guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to Be Like a Crow, a solo RPG by Tim Roberts of Critical Kit Limited, in which you play a member of the Corvid family. Not COVID, Corvid. You are going to be playing a member of the Crow family in this solo RPG. Now, in the previous video, we went through the rules. We also went through character creation, and we created our character for this gameplay. Yes, video 2. This is the gameplay video. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We have our Raven that we created. I'll put a link in the top corner here for the first video, in case you haven't seen it yet. But we have our Raven. I called him Muninn after a raven, an actual raven from the tower that escaped, because we are doing the Ravens of the Tower setting. In the core book, in here, there are 6 settings for you to play in. Fantasy, gothic horror, steampunk, clockwork, and I chose the Ravens of the Tower, which is based in 1800s London. I did create a few little tokens. Most of these are not going to be used in the actual game itself, but I will be using them in the video editing to add a little bit more pizzazz. A little bit more pizzazz to the video itself. Right. So I have, because I'm terrible at drawing, I've just used one of the tokens, one of the Raven tokens here. I've got another one, which I'll be using on the hex map to show where I am. You also need, I think, a nest. You need to identify a location where you have your home, your nest. I didn't actually make any nest tokens, but I do have these ones which are supposed to represent pillars. Could be a chimney, so maybe my nest is in a chimney. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that just above the tower. So it's actually within the tower complex. And this, me, Muninn, I'm going to start there. Now, this solo RPG is a very simple design in terms of the mechanics. But it has a lot of depth because this is a prompt... What's the best way to explain it? A prompt-driven RPG where you will be not rolling dice, which is another reason why I like this game. You're going to be using cards and tables in the book. You've got all these tables in the book to generate prompts to tell you what happens, who you meet, what you need to do, your objectives. Now, I also actually printed the events tables on another sheet of card because these are going to be used a lot and they're used for every setting. So I just printed this out as just like a quick reference. So for events, I don't have to keep going back to this, the book. But yeah, you're going to be going around the map. You're going to have to do these objectives, these missions. And that is how you evolve, you grow. All of this I covered in the previous video. I also have my little journal book, which I have been using for a number of my RPG videos, my solo RPG videos. A Vampire Alone in the Darkness. I think also Scraps. And the Legacy of Cthulhu quick play, or the demo. They're all in here. So Ravens of the Tower, Be Like a Crow is going to add that illustrious list. So I'm going to be writing down in there just very short descriptions of what happens for my reference, for storytelling, for video editing and whatever. But I'm not going to waste time in terms of the video showing you much in terms of when I'm writing in the journal, because you don't need to see that. Right, what else have we got? Okay, so a few little things regarding my character. As a raven, we do have an ability to possibly get authority on attacks. On authority is where you draw 2 cards and take the highest. We do have a little bit of an issue because of the setting, the ravens of the tower. As a fledgling, as the earliest life cycle, we've got to make a fly check every time I take off and land. If I fail, I get one injury. Not good. Again, in terms of the rules, you'll see how the rules play. You'll see how these skill checks work. But again, I did cover them in the first video. Also, as a fledgling, I do get a bonus to evade. I do evade as an authority because I'm so small. But again, that will go when I go up a level, as I come to the juvenile level, which will be when I do 2 objectives. Now, the way that this game works is that you're using these cards to generate prompts, but also to do skill checks and everything else. Watch the video, we'll see how it's done. To start the game, we have to generate our first objective. We wake up in the morning, afternoon, evening, probably not night, but we wake up and we're going to first of all find out what our first objective is, our first mission, and then we'll sort of generate a story around that in terms of how I get it and what I've got to do. So we go to the book, we go to the, not Urban Crow, we want to go to the Ravens of the Tower. Now, for things like objectives, objects, characters and locations, every setting has their own tables. But the events are common for all. So, just letting you know. So, these are the potential objectives. We draw a card. It doesn't matter what suit it is, but the card is going to tell me what is going to be my first objective. So, we draw the first card, and it is the 10 of Hearts. Now, the suit doesn't matter for objectives, but it is the 10. Right, what does this say here? An old crow. Now, old crow is the highest level, has usurped the tower and installed a new band of ravens. You suspect he has his eyes on the palace next. Gather your ousted peers and retake the tower, restoring order. This is not a good one for a fledgling because it potentially it could be combat. So that's not going to be a good one. Right, so I wake up in the morning and I find that the whole tower is, what's the word to use? Up in arms. A new group of ravens has basically forced the other ravens out, and I slept through the whole thing. Obviously, as a fledgling, I'm probably not considered much of a threat, but these rival ravens have basically moved in. The Raven Master, was there a Raven Master in the 1800s? I'll say that there is. Basically, the Raven Master has had no choice but to accept the new ravens, because there is the legend that if the ravens ever leave the tower, the kingdom will fail. So, once he sees the sort of normal ravens, our group of ravens, leave the tower, he has to accept the replacements, because he's frightened of this legend that it may actually come to pass. Okay, so we've actually got to get rid of this old crow and a new band. So I think it's going to have to be we've got to figure out some way of getting rid of the leader. Once the leader goes, we can probably just take out the rest, no problem whatsoever. But I've got to try and get rid of the old crow, the leader of this new band. Gather your ousted peers and retake the tower, restoring order. Now, this game, like a lot of solo RPGs, doesn't contain everything that you need to do. It doesn't have all of the text, descriptions, everything. You have to generate a lot of this yourself. It only gives you the very barest of information. So we've got to try and figure out how we're going to do this. Have to get our thinking caps on. Give me 1 second. I'm just going to update my journal with this first objective, and we'll be right back. Right, so I've just put here in the journal, objective 1. I didn't roll, no dice. I drew a 10. So rival old crow and minions taken over the tower. I've got to retake the tower and gather the ousted peers and attack. So maybe I have to find the other ravens. I don't know how easy that's going to be. The things, I haven't read through all of these tables. I don't want to ruin the surprise kind of thing. So I haven't actually read the setting tables at all. I don't know how easy it's going to be for me to actually find other ravens. But we'll see what happens. We'll generate the story and see what happens. But yeah, so that is my first objective that I need to do. So what we do now is we've got to make some decisions about what I'm going to do. So this rival gang has taken over the tower. The ravens that I belong to might be my family. They must have gone somewhere else. Now, where would they have actually gone? Somewhere that's safe, where they can probably sort of recoup, heal. Probably, let me think. It'll probably be somewhere close. Now, the two locations that are closest on this map, obviously there's a lot of locations that are close, but you've got London Bridge and the docks. Now, where would they probably have gone? Because that determines where I'm going to fly and try to find my fellow ravens. I'm thinking, I mean, the docks would probably have the most places to hide, but it may not be the safest place to be. So I think London Bridge would probably be the safest place. So I think that the ravens will probably go and maybe temporarily roost at the London Bridge until they can figure out what's going on. So we are going to, in our first turn, we're going to be moving in this direction and see if there's any ravens over here, or if we can find maybe some other help to try and get rid of these ravens in the tower. So what we're going to do is we are going to, this is where it all goes pear-shaped. We've basically, okay, so we're currently landed. We've got to take off and then fly to the next hex. But until I fulfill my first objective, I've got to do a fly check. Otherwise I get an injury. Now I can pick up other objectives as I'm journeying around, but I've got to complete one objective before I can get rid of this. Oh God, here we go. Right, so I'm going to take off and fly to this hex here next to the tower, but we have to make a fly check. Right, so the way that you do skill checks is you turn over a card, that becomes your target. You then turn over a second card, and that is your attempt, and you will then add points or ticks in the skill that is relevant. So we're making a fly check. So what is going to be my target number? Oh no. I haven't upset the card gods. Come on. So the target is a queen. God. All right. Now, I do have a +1 to fly, so I need a jack or higher to succeed. Right. We get a 6. A 6 + 1, that becomes a 7. That is not equal or higher than a queen, so we fail the check. And we hurt ourselves. We take an injury. Here we go. So as I take off from my little nest in the tower, maybe my foot gets caught on maybe one of the bricks. And as I actually lift up into the sky, I twist my ankle. Do ravens have ankles? But I damage a part of my foot, which gets caught in the bricking. It's not a good start. I only get 6 injuries, then I'm dead. I've got to do it when I land as well. Oh no. Right, anyway, that's done. First test, 1 injury. Good start. Right. What we do now is events. When you're flying, you have to do a minimum of 1 event in a hex before you can move to another hex. If you land, you've got to do 2 events minimum before you can take off and go to another hex. So we have flown to this next hex here, so we have got to do an event roll. Sorry, I keep saying roll. Event draw. So we are in flight. There are 2 event tables, one for in flight and one for on land. Now, is this table going to be big enough for you guys to see, or should I use should I use the one in the book? I mean, the one in the book's bigger, obviously, but I'll do it here. I mean, I'm going to read it out anyway. So, right. So we're flying. We're flying. So we want the events in flight. So we draw a card to determine the event. Oh God, another queen. Right, Queen of Clubs. So then there's a black suit. Queen. Right. What does this say? An eagle offers you a lift on their tail feathers. Oh, an eagle. I don't think, did I actually do any tokens for eagles? You can grab them in your beak and travel 2 hexes before you need to take your next turn. So basically I can move 2 hexes for free. Excellent. We'll do that. Right, let me just update my journal. Right, so as if by magic, I've updated the journal. So you'll notice that I'm not doing it as a story form, although I may evolve this into a story format maybe later. But this is more like a point form, so that I can remember what's happening, what I've got to do, where things are. Also to help me when I'm doing the video editing and stuff. So I've put here, the objective already showed you. Take off from tower, fail fly test, 1 injury. Yeah, everybody laugh at me. Event, fly, I've got the Queen of Clubs, eagle gives a lift, 2 hex, free move. Yeah, so that's how I'm going to be doing the journal. Like I say, whether I evolve it into a sort of more story format later, I don't know. We have to see. Right, so we get a kind of positive event. So I can move for 2 hexes for free. So I'm going to move towards the bridge. I think I need to try and find if there's any ravens there. So 1, 2. So a little bit of a boost thanks to this eagle. Thank you very much, Mr. Eagle. Love you lots. Come back to the tower for some free food when we get it back. Right. Now we have to make another event check because we have moved, but we basically got one hex for free. That's good. That's fine. So now we're in this hex here. Again, we have to do another event. Again, we are still flying. I'm going to need to get to one of these hexes before I can land and see if any ravens have appeared. So we've got another event in flight. What's going to happen this time? It is the 2 of Hearts, a red suit. Okay. Another bird joins you in flight. They are carrying an object. You see in brackets this object, that means I have to generate the object from the table. You can persuade them to give it to you with a successful befriend check. Alternatively, fight them for it. Now, I don't really want to fight, because fighting is a real gamble using cards. I mean, I do have some advantages when I do fighting, but I don't really want to fight unless I need to. But I could do a befriend check. I'm pretty good at befriending. I've got 2 ticks in that. But let's see what it is first. So, we come to the book. We go to the ravens of the tower, and it is an object. So this is let's move it so you can see. He has an object. Not enough space, is there? Let me move it a little bit more. Don't want to mess up the cards. Right. So we got red suit, black suit. So we got these 2 here for the object. What are we gonna get? So for the object, it is a King of Hearts. Right. So a King of Hearts. Red suit, bonk. Create your own object or draw again from this table. Do I want to create my own object? I mean, that could be good. But like I say, I haven't actually read through these tables, so I don't know what the other objects are. So I don't know in terms of power, in terms of level of advantage I can give myself if I create my own object. So I'm just going to draw again. I'm just going to draw another card. So it is the Jack of Hearts. Okay. A marlin spike, probably discarded by a drunken sailor. This is a handy piece of kit. When utilizing it, you can make use tool checks with authority. Ooh, that is useful. Yes, I could definitely do with that. So let's write that down in the journal. 1 second. Right, so that was the eagle. Okay, so event fly, Jack of Hearts, bird has a marlin spike, use tools with authority. So I want to try and have that. I want the bird to give it to me. So I want to try and use my befriend skill to try and get it for free. So again, it's a skill check. We have to do the target first. Oh my god, so high. Befriend, do I have... Okay, so I can do it with authority. Again, this is, I think, one of the advantages of the Raven class. So we can do it with authority, so I can do 2 cards and take the highest, and I get a +2. All right. So, okay, so the target is the Jack. We get a 5, which is no good, and we get a king. We did it. Yes, yes, yes. Don't need the +2. I did it. So we take the highest because it's authority. So the king beats the Jack. We get the marlin spike, which is amazing. Marlin spike. Just double check. Marlin spike. Yep. So this gives me authority with use tools. I've already got a 2 skill in use tools, so this is going to be really useful for me. Right, that's that done. Okay, so we've injured ourselves. We've got a bit of a lift. We've met another bird. What bird was it? Don't know. Should I add a bird for I can add a bird later for storytelling if I need to. But he has a marlin spike, and we managed to make such a good impression on him. Sort of convinced him, and we're so nice, friendly. He gave it to us. Very, very nice indeed. So if I need to do any use tool tests, I have authority. Yes. But again, I mentioned this in the first video. In the rules, it says you can only carry 2 objects. 1 in your beak, 1 in your claws. So, at the moment, it's good. It's good. It's good. Right, where are we? We are still here. Now, I want to move towards the bridge, so we're going to move again. Again, still in flight, so we're moving to there. And again, we have to generate an event. So what is it this time? It is the 8 of Hearts. Bum, bum, bum. A sudden gust of wind knocks you sideways. Make a fly check. On a failure, you... Oh no! On a failure, you drop 1 object you're carrying. Make a successful navigate check or become lost and take 1 more turn in your current hex. Oh, this isn't a good one. I could lose the marlin spike immediately after I get it, because also, in terms of storytelling, narrative, I'm over the bloody rivulet. I'm over the River Thames. Oh, if I drop it, I lose it. It's not as if I can drop it and sort of find it again. Ah, nuts. Right, think positive, Scott. Think positive. We can do this. So we've got to make a fly check. I've got a fly of 1. Oh, okay. Target is 7. Survey says 5 + 1. No, it's 6. No. Oh, I lose the marlin spike. Ah. And I haven't finished yet. Make a successful navigate check or become lost and take 1 more turn in this hex. Ah, nuts. Does that mean I have to do another event in this hex? I think it does, doesn't it? Ah, nuts. Navigate. I've got no bonus at all. It's just going to be the luck of the cards. Okay. Target is an 8. Survey says a queen. Yay! We did it. We passed the navigate check. We failed the fly check, but we passed the navigate check. So we can move freely next turn. But we lose the marlin spike. Oh, the card gods hate me as well. Right, here we go. Give me 1 second. I'm going to write that in the journal. Oh, marlin spike. I didn't know you well. Easy come, easy go. I shouldn't have got excited, should I? With me and games, when I get excited, things go pear-shaped. At least I've got 2 free slots for items again. Oh dear. Right, let's carry on. So that was the event for that hex. We can now go to the bridge, and I think I'm going to land. but not on the bridge, sort of where the traffic is. I'm actually going to land on one of the towers. So we'll go to this hex here and we will land. Now, I'm going to do the event in a sec, but first I've got to do this bloomin' fly check when landing. Oh, goodness me. Right, fly, I've got a +1. So target is a 6. Right, I just need a 5 or higher. Survey says a king again. Yes, very nice. So let's move these over a little bit. All right. So we pass the fly test. We don't take any more damage when we land. We don't do the hop, skip, jump, and roll like you see in the cartoons. We land fine. We're learning. But now that we have landed, we've actually got to do the event to see what happens. So we're actually on one of the bridge towers, which could be a potential roosting place for my family, for the ravens. But we've now got to check the event table on land to see what happens. Right. So what happens when I land at the tower of the London Bridge? We get a 7 of hearts. Bonk, bonk, bonk. Oh, your wing becomes caught in something. Make a successful evade check or take 1 injury whilst freeing yourself. Oh, come on. I was so happy that I made the landing. Now I'm going to get hurt as well. Okay. Right. Where is it? 7. All right. So we're going to make an evade check. I don't have any. Why don't I have any ticks in evade? I should have put. I thought I put a tick in evade. Nuts. But I do get to. I have got an authority as a fledgling. So I can do 2 cards. Oh dear, this isn't good. Right. So to avoid the damage, what's it say? Your wing becomes caught, make a successful check, or take 1 injury while freeing yourself. Yep. Because I'm like a small bird, it's easier for me to free myself. So I've got an authority, which means I do 2 cards, but the target number is a 10. So my 2 cards are a 3. That's no bloody good. A queen again. Yes. We avoid the injury. We are okay. Nice. Well done. I needed that evade. I needed that authority. Oh, okay. Right. So we have landed. We've nearly caught ourselves in the tower, but nobody here at the moment. Maybe we should look for somebody. What am I going to do now? Because I've got to try and determine whether there's any of my rooks here. So why do I keep saying rooks? Ravens. Maybe any of my raven family here. Like I say, I haven't actually read through all the tables, so I don't know what the chances of actually finding a specific raven. So what I'm going to do is leave it to the cards. I might still have to do things like befriend or possibly signal to actually get them to, meet me back at the tower when I find the others, kind of thing. That's also a thing. I don't know how many there are. Supposed to be 6, isn't there? Yeah, 6. Okay. God, I've got to find 6. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do a search check to see whether the ravens are here, or a raven is here. I'm going to have to go other places to find the others, but I'm going to do a search check to see if any of the ravens are here. So search, I've got 1 tick. Target number is a 4. I'm not going to say anything, but that's pretty good. I need a 3 or higher to find one of my raven friends or family. Yes, got an 8 plus 1 is 9. So we succeed. So in this location, we actually find, hiding inside the tower, one of the ravens, one of my fellow ravens from the tower, one of the good guys. So I found him. Now I want to just check and make sure that he will come back with me. Should that be automatic or should I make a check? I think I need to make a check now. Which one did I use? Befriend. Okay, what does it say for befriend? Measures how good you are at getting on the right side of others. That's possible. Signal allows you to call on others for assistance or warn them of danger. So, I mean, signal is more of the communication, but it's more in terms of announcements, warnings, shouting, I think. So I think to get this raven to come back, or to meet me back at the tower when I find the others, I think that would come under befriend, I think. Because I think befriend's more of a charisma thing. Signal's more about being heard. I think. So what we're gonna do, we found one of our ravens here. I'm gonna make a befriend check to just to make sure they're gonna meet me back at the tower. Yeah, that sounds good. So befriend +2. Right. Target is, how scared is this thing? A 7. Oh, he's moderately scared of the of this new crew that bonked him out of his blooming tower. Right, so we've got a +2. I need a 5 or higher to get him to come and help us. Ah, nuts. Aces are low. I don't have any jokers either, do I? So essentially, because I got an ace here, which is the worst card you can get, he really doesn't want to come back and help us in the tower. So he's not going to come back and help us afterwards. Oh, that's not what I needed. So the first raven we find is a coward. Okay, chicken. He's not a raven, he's a chicken. So I'm going to have to find others to come and help me. Oh, this really isn't good at all. Okay, so again, I've just made a little note in the journal. Go away, fly. Landing on the bridge, success, event. Okay, that was the wing. Search for ravens, success, befriend to have him help me at the tower later. Fail! And I failed badly, it was an ace. So yeah, he's really not gonna help me. Now, again, according to legend, everything is supposed to be, I think it's a minimum of 6 ravens, so I've got 5 more potential ravens to find. How many do I need? I don't know. I'm kind of making this up as I go. So we'll see what happens. So we are currently here. There is another tower at the other end here. So what I'm going to do is, oh god, I've got to make another check, and I'm going to, because you can't move from one hex to another on land. You have to fly. You can't hop that far. So I'm going to take off, and I'm going to fly to here, and then try and, for this turn it'll be flying. So I've got to take off. I've got to make the check for taking off. So I'm flying, so I get a +1. Target is, oh, a joker. I need those. I need them. So I'll keep that there for the moment. I've got a joker, excellent. Right, so the target is a 7. Now I do get a +1. Come on, I need a 6 or higher. Oh, crap. Should I use the joker? Should I use the joker? This could be... I think I'll save the joker for later, so I take another injury. Again, as I take off, my wing gets caught in the brickwork again. Ow! Or ow. That's not good at all. Okay. But we are now over the bridge. I've got to do an event. I'm flying this turn, aren't I? Right, so like I say, I'm going from that tower to this tower over here on the bridge. So this is going to be a fly event. Flying event, not a flight event. Right, what's going to happen? It is 4 of diamonds. Boom, boom. You meet a magpie who tells you where you can find a certain object. In the next hex you visit, you can land and pick it up. You must take 2 further turns on land before you can leave that hex. All right, let's see what the object is. So again, we come back to the setting, the tables. So the object is King of Spades. So black suit, king, create your own object. Now again, I'm not fully aware of the objects in this setting yet. Get away, fly. So I'm going to roll again, or draw another card. It is the 2 of clubs. Right, black suit 2. The monarch's decree. This small piece of paper verifies your allegiance and service to the crown. All social interaction checks can be made with authority while it's in your possession. Well, I mean, in terms of the ability, I already have authority on social interaction. So this monarch's decree doesn't really do anything in terms of mechanics, but it could possibly be of use to get rid of the old crow and the new minions. Instead of searching for the other ravens, I could use this to maybe get the humans to get rid of the crows. I'm gonna have to think about that, but I'm gonna have to find it. And it did say just now, okay, in the next hex you visit. I mean, I'm technically in this hex already, so it would be the next hex after this, but it won't be able to be the river. It'd have to be on the land somewhere. Okay, you can land and pick it up. You've got to take 2 further turns on land before you can. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that because that monarch's decree, I might be able to use instead of finding the boys and starting a ruckus. I might be able to use that document to actually get rid of the other ravens. Okay, so I think that's a really good idea. I think I can do that. Right, I think that's a plan. I might be able to use this document to, like I say, get the humans to help me. So if I can find that, then I don't actually need to search for the other ravens at this time. I mean, I might have to find them for something else, but for the first objective, this will possibly do the job instead. Excellent. Wow. Things are coming together. Oh, I shouldn't say anything, should I? I should not say anything. Oh, no. Right, so I've got to... next hex, I can land and pick it up. Then take 2 further turns on land. Okay, so I'm not going to land here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to fly... down here to the borough. Borough market's over there. So I'm going to fly down to here. I'm going to fly down to there. And I'm going to land. I'm going to land and find that item, which would be really, really useful. Right. So landing. Again, I keep thinking with this... with this problem here, I keep thinking of that cartoon, or the cartoons where is it a seagull? I can't remember what it is, but in the cartoons where it comes into land and flops and rolls everywhere. Right, so we've got to take a fly check. Oh no. I could have used this as the target. I could have really done with that as a target. Right, landing. Target is an 8 of clubs. Oh, I get a +1. So I need a 7. Come on. Nuts. Do I use it? Yeah, I'm gonna use the Joker to automatically pass. I don't want to be on half health already. I don't want it. Actually, no. Forget that. So I screw up the landing. I take 1 more injury. Then one of the ways that you can use Jokers is to actually heal 2 injuries. Ha ha ha! But that will be, I think that takes a turn, is it? Should I? Because I have to do an event. But what's the sequence? Does the event happen before the Joker or the preenie? Because again, when you land on a hex, when you land, you can actually do a preen check, which I actually forgot. I could have done a preen check to heal when I was landing over there. But I think the event comes first. I mean, I'm gonna be generous to myself. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use the Joker to heal back 2. That looks much better. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the event before I do the preen action. I think that's fair. Do one before and one after. I think that's fair. Let me do the event, and this event is going to be on land. So what are we going to get? I've lost my joker. 6 of spades. 6 of what am I doing? Event. Land. 6 of spades. Boop. You spot, another object on the ground. You may take it. Now this is good because I don't have any objects at the moment. So I could potentially grab 2 objects here. Very nice. Right, what's this other object I see? It is a 3 of hearts. A jewel from the crown. You should probably return this to the tower or find yourself at risk of arrest and a hasty trial. Well, I mean, I could use that with the monarch's decree to add extra weight. I could say that they nicked it and blamed it on my guys. Ah, yes, it's all coming together. Right, so let me just journal that. So what I can do is I can go back to the Raven Master, who I'm going to say that I can do rudimentary communication with. Maybe I need to make a sing check. And basically with the monarch's decree, just really sort of assert my position and my authority as an authentic raven of the tower. And then the jewel from the crown basically show the evidence that the usurper ravens nicked it and tried to blame it on us. So now I also know the reason why my ravens maybe didn't want to go back. Maybe that raven that I found, maybe he didn't want to go back because the jewel is still missing. And they're being blamed for it being missing. Okay, kind of works. So all I need to do now is get back to the tower. But here's the thing. Doing that with the magpie, I have to spend 2 more turns in this hex before I can leave. So I'm going to have to survive 2 more events in this hex before I can actually fly back, because that was what said in the event, didn't it? Where was it? It was in flight, wasn't it? We met the magpie. It was in flight. Yeah. You must take 2 further turns on land before you can leave that hex. So, but turns can also be non-events. So I may not have to do 2 events. So I'm going to say grabbing the 2. Well, I mean, I've got to find the monarch's decree as well. So that, I think finding the 2 items, I think would be, no, because the jewel was the event, the first event there. I pick up the decree. Does that count? Does that count? I mean, I've got to find it exactly. I don't know exactly where it is. The magpie tells me where it is, but I've still got to dig it up and find it. So I think that's going to take 1 turn. So I've got 1 more turn to do. I can preen. Does that count as a turn? I have to check. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure, but I'm gonna preen anyway to try and heal back my last injury. So I've got 1 + 1 in preen. So target number is a 3. My skill. Oh, you swine. You swine. Anything but an ace, and I get nuts. The +1 makes it a 2, which is less than a 3. That's terrible. So I don't heal back that last injury. That's terrible. Now, again, should that count as my last turn here? No, I don't think that counts as a turn. So I'm going to do one more event before we leave, I think. So we are on land. Event on land. We get a Jack of Diamonds. You meet a character who requests your assistance. You may generate a new objective. Oh, that's useful, because I need to do 2 objectives before I can level up. Okay, just give me 1 second. Right, so we've got to generate a character and we have to generate an objective. Right, so let us go to the setting. We want a character, so we're going to do a card, and the character that we meet is a 4 of clubs. A 4 of clubs is a courtier's pet rabbit. Hello, Mr. Rabbit. Did I do a rabbit token? I think I did. So a courtier's pet rabbit has a task for me. They have a mission for me. Oh dear. All right. Okay. So what's the objective? What's the mission that they have for me? This little rabbit. I'll think of a name in a second. Right. What does he get me to do? 5 of spades. Intercept another character in a certain location. Again, we've got to roll up these and try to steal some secret messages they're carrying. Oh, intrigue. It may take a successful signal check to decipher their code. All right, that's another objective. Let me write all this down. Right, wow, it's all getting interesting now, isn't it? So what I've done is that the event, let me go back, where is it? The Jack. I meet a character who requests my assistance, I generate a new objective. Right, so the character was a courtier's pet rabbit. I've named this pet rabbit Desiree, a very pretty white bunny. And she is the pet bunny of Lady Sandra. Just a courtier's name that I've come up with. Now, Lady Sandra is actually a covert agent in service of the Crown. And she has found out that this character that we will be generating in a second has basically stolen some secret messages. I have to try and steal them back and then try to decipher them and get them back to Lady Sandra for objective number 2. So, all interesting stuff. Let us generate the villain and where they are. So, we need to generate, back to the setting. We need to generate a character. I wonder if it's going to be human, because you've got humans and animals here. So, the character that I have to try and intercept is 10 of clubs. An advisor to the monarch. Ooh. One of the monarch's advisors is doing the dirty. He's doing the naughty, right? So, advisor to the monarch. So, monarch's advisor. Okay, and apparently I've been told which one it is, and they are currently, or I will find them at 9 of clubs. Buckingham Palace. Is that on the map? Oh God, I gotta. Where the hell's? Again, it's been a while since I've been to London. I come from nearby, but I've got to remember where Buckingham Palace is. Is it north or south of the Thames? Okay, I'll have to look that up. But the advisor to the monarch is currently at Buckingham Palace, but I've got to try and intercept them before they leave. Okay, Buckingham Palace. Buckingham Palace. Now, if you guys have never been to the UK, if you've never been to London, Buckingham Palace is definitely one of the places you want to visit. It can be extremely busy. I don't advise driving there. Take the train, take the tube, take the bus, but Buckingham Palace is an amazing place. Especially if you get there when it's changing of the guards. Really, really impressive. But I've got to figure out, again, like I say, it's been a while. I've been over here in Southeast Asia for over 20 years. I haven't been able to get back to the UK as much as I'd liked. So it has been a while. Yeah, was it on there? Where is it? I can't see. I'll find out where it is on the map. Whether it's on the map or not, I'll find where it is. But we've got another objective. We've got to hunt down this advisor and basically steal back the secret messages, or steal the secret messages that he's going to use to incriminate the monarch. My word, it's like I'm part of the Secret Service or something. Right, that's that done. That's that done. We've got objective 2. We've done all the events for that. Where was I? I was here when I... Yeah, sorry, book must have moved it. I've done all the events I need to do for here. I can now start making my way back to the tower. Get rid of these other ravens. But that is going to be in the next video. I think this has been long enough. So this is gameplay video number 1. I'm going to continue at least until the first 2 objectives are done, until at least I go up 1 life cycle. I could potentially play more, depends how the videos do. If the videos get a lot of views, I will definitely be playing more and more. We'll see how Muninn gets on. But that will do for this video. So Muninn is currently here over the Thames, over the other side of the Thames. He's got to fly back and try and achieve objective 1. Get rid of those other ravens. And then I've got to go to Buckingham Palace. Don't know where it is. So sad. I come from near London. I'll find that out. Anyway, I hope you guys have enjoyed the video. Like I say, with these solo RPGs, you do have to do a lot of improv. You do have to generate the story around the prompts and things that you're given. But yeah, I'm having fun with this. I've got to get that first objective done, because then I don't have to do that stupid fly check when I'm taking off and landing every time. But yes, guys, anyway, thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this, and I hope you've seen how the game plays. Like I mentioned in the first video, there are 5 different types of bird that you can play. Each has different skill assignments, different abilities, and there are also 6 different settings. Again, it gives a big replayability to this game. But that will be the end of this session. I will continue in the next one. Hope to see you there. Please take a moment to like and subscribe. Really appreciate that. You're doing me a huge favor. And put down some comments. Let me know what you think. Anyway, guys, thank you very much. Take care. Stay safe. Cheers.